Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to Dear Sybersue. I'm Susan McCord. Today's topic is the importance of being authentic when dating. Many people are nervous when they're dating today. And part of the reason for that is the judgments are made very quickly. And so a lot of people don't get past the first or second date. And this causes insecurities. This causes people to shut down because they feel like there's just nothing they can do that somebody's going to pay attention to them. And so it makes them doubt themselves. So every time they go on a date, they're just as nervous as the last time they went on one. Quite often on a first date, it's just because you don't have a great connection that things don't work out and you don't hear from each other again. When you're authentic to who you are, it lays down a foundation of truth. So you're being who you are, and if they're being who they are, you've got a much better start to making things go somewhere. But if you start off being completely different to who you normally are on a regular basis, there's nowhere to go later on, because even if you were to mesh together and everything was going okay, the facade is going to eventually melt down and you're going to start showing parts of who you really are anyway. So why not meet somebody by being authentic and seeing if you connect with them, because they're also being authentic. This is what I'm finding is why a lot of relationships start out pretty fast and then they end at about the 3-month mark, because either people are not being completely who they are, or they're giving so much of themselves right away, then it fizzles. You have to go slow and steady when you're first meeting somebody. You want to learn to trust them, and you want to learn to trust that they are being real, that who you're sitting across from on these dates, that's who they truly are. We're all hearing stories of people who change. All of a sudden you see the real person a few months later, and it's not always a pretty sight. Please pay attention closely. Take your time going into a relationship with somebody, because the faster you go in, it's so much easier to not see all those red flags, because you get so attached physically to somebody when you go fast. When you have time between dates, you can sit back, do your own thing. You're not jumping in on all fours to a new situation, because you have clarity. You're taking your time, you're stepping back, you come back in, you have a date, you go away, you do your own thing, you stay independent, do your own stuff that doesn't get you so attached too quickly. Treat dating as a journey, one of life's pleasures and experiences. Yeah, they're not always going to be flawless and perfect, and you're going to find your person on the first couple of dates. But the more that you date, the more you experience, the more you appreciate and are grateful for those experiences, will lead you closer to meeting the person you really want as your potential partner. But being insecure about things and not being your complete self because you feel they won't like you is setting yourself up for failure, because it's not being real. You're not being true to them, and you're not being true to yourself. Think about it. How exhausting is that? Having to act this role all the time because you're afraid to be who you are, so you're putting out all this energy into a different way to hope that somebody will like you. Think about it. If they were doing that to you, would you be okay when you found out that who they really were was not that person standing in front of you? And this is why there's so many stories. There's so many bad stories about dating, because people aren't being authentic to who they are. There's some sort of game being played, and I think a lot of it has got to do with insecurities and not feeling valued enough, not feeling confident enough, so they put out a different side. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you don't want to be with somebody who isn't real. That's why if you include a bit of laughter into your date, it's not a serious place you're going for a walk, you're just outside enjoying the environment, it takes a lot of pressure off of you. It's an automatic relaxation to your dating experience. And that's the thing that I found was sort of the win for me when I was dating. I really enjoyed that part. If I felt that things were too serious and there were too many questions and I had to answer the checklist, that it was a turnoff. And it also made me feel like they're not here for just to get to know somebody. They're here because they want things a certain way, and that's exactly what they have to have. But eventually you will learn to be more and more and more comfortable if you stay real and true to who you are. When you're putting on any type of facade or you're trying to impress somebody, that's when the room and mood and everything changes, because it's not flowing. It feels sort of acted. And that's when you know when you're with somebody that's really great, when it just goes and there's nonstop conversation, there's laughter, there's fun, it's playful. These are all the things that you need to look for when you're dating. It's so much easier to have a great communicative conversation with somebody when you're open and honest and just being yourself. When there's no game playing, there's very few questions, because you don't have to look at somebody and try and figure them out. They're showing you who they are. And in closing, if this is something that you're having a tough time with because you don't feel comfortable with who you are, it's really a good idea to work on some self-care and some confidence help to get you to a better place, because you really want to be able to be yourself with somebody. You want to have a reciprocated loving partnership, and you want to be able to contribute as much as they are. So if you're having troubles being confident at this particular time in your life, get the help you need, because it's really worth it. It's really worth getting to the core of who you are, because you're worth every ounce of learning to get to the place you want to be in a partnership. It's truly worth it. Don't be fake, be real, go out there and have some fun. And each step you take in the dating world, make sure that it's a better step. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Please leave your comments. Please click like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.